All right. So yesterday, what all we did, we started and we understood what the variable is, and then we understood what input box, message box is, and we did our first program using input box and message box. So today, what we are going to learn is how to check conditions. How do you check conditions in Excel?
If
we
and
use if function.
You use if function, right? Similarly, we will use if function in our VBA also. But in VBA, we have three ways of putting if. One is a single if. It means there is no false part to it. If it's only true, then something should happen. Then we have if and else. This is like how we have in Excel, where there is a value of true and there is a value of false. And then we have if with else if, which is used for multiple condition checking, like you had your nested if in Excel. Okay.
Ishani,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Before we proceed further, we have kept one ampersand symbol yesterday.
Yes.
When we are displaying the result.
Correct.
What is the use of this and why do we put ampersand symbol?
Okay. So ampersand is something that is there in Excel also, and this is used for concatenating. So either you can use a function called concatenate in Excel, or rather than using a function of concatenate and giving your text string over there, we can use ampersand. So for example, if I have two things and I want to join them together to make that one single entity, I use an ampersand. Okay. Now, why we had to use it? Because if you think about it, when we were working with the message box, we were only going to work in one part of it, which is prompt, right? So in prompt, can I give two different values? Like, can I give a message box and in prompt give, let's say, text in ABC and then a number? Do you think even Excel will accept something like this?
No.
No. So in order to make these two things as one single entity, again, what we did, we introduced an ampersand. So when you put an ampersand, it's going to join them into one, and then one thing is returned in the prompt part.
Okay.
All right.
So this is.
And what will happen in case of concatenate?
Concatenate is a function, and this is kind of an operator that we use to do the same functionality. So I could have either written it as, message box. I don't know if concatenate is there in VBA or not. Hold on. Don't know if that function exists over here. Concatenate. No, it doesn't exist in concat. So these functions are not there in VBA. Okay. So in order to join the two things, if you require to join two things, you have to use an ampersand in VBA.
Okay.
One more thing, Ishani, regarding the message box. Is it mandatory that message box should be start with the text only?
It starts should be text with me. You mean this part?
Display the result in the numeric value, like if there is any condition.
You're talking about this total expense kind of a thing?
Yeah, it is a text value. If you want to display it in numeric value.
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. It's entirely up to you what you want to display over here.
All right.
Okay. There's no restriction as it has to be text. Whatever you return, you have to make sure if I'm going to return multiple things, use ampersand to make it as one unit. If there's only one thing, then I don't even need my ampersand.
Got it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to show you the structure of if function, then I'll give you an example, and then again I'll show you the structure of else if, give an example, and then give you an exercise to work with. So let's take up a simple example. Structure is if condition. So whenever we write the word condition, it means it's going to give us true or false as an output. Then, so whatever I'm writing in all caps, like if and then, I'm trying to indicate to you that these are the keywords. So since in comments, it's not going to auto capitalize, I'm making it capital for you. Underneath this, we will write lines to execute.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ishani. Earlier you have told that if function here, it is used if value is true only.
Yes, but the condition
False
can
will
return
not...
you true or false, right? But condition can give you true and false.
Okay.
Right? Condition can be true and false. Now, if it is true, then what it does, it will go to lines to execute if true. If it's false, what it will do? It will simply go to end if and do nothing.
Okay.
right? So in this case, what I meant by only looking at true is we are only taking an action if the condition is true. If the condition is false, we are not taking any action. We are not doing anything. No lines are there to execute.
So
Right?
can we if the function, if it is false, can we do something in
Yes,
here
then
also?
we use if else.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so this is when you don't have any else part, means the false part is not there. And if you have the false part, then we are going to use the else. And over here, we are putting lines to execute if false. This is going to be the structure of it.
Ishani, can you repeat this else portion again?
Yes.
What is the use?
What is the use? Remember in Excel, if you think about, we have if, and then we used to give our logical test, and then we had value if true, value false.
Yes.
Right? So what is this portion? This portion is value if true.
Okay.
And this is what? Value false.
Oh, okay.
So this is saying if the condition is true, then execute this set of programs, else execute this set of programs.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the part. On the
Here
top,
the
there is no value
logical-
false.
Here the logical test is working like in these two lines.
Condition. Yes. Condition. No, logical test is condition. This is, I can, if you think this is easier to understand, I'll replace it with logical test.
Yeah, that is okay.
Okay. So logical test and then value true, value false. Okay. So this is the basic structure. Now let's say, let's take this program itself. I'm going to modify it a little bit. So in this program, I want to write a program to enter the income and debt and show the debt income ratio. If ratio is greater than debt income ratio, debt should be lower. It should lower is good, right? Debt to income. Yeah. So for example, if it is greater than 0.5, then we want to give a message, then return risky. Okay, simple. If the ratio is greater than 0.5, then we want to return the text called risky. So over here, we are going to take these things, I'm going to remove. And instead of displaying what I'm going to do over here, and put a if function. That if, when we rounded out debt to income ratio, and this is greater than 0.5, then what do we want to return? We'll put a message box. Why we are putting message box? Because we have to display something, right? So displaying is message box, and then we are putting risky, and all your if statements will always need an end if at the end. So if I run this program, I enter the income, let's say 45,000, and I enter the debt, let's say 50,000. Then it's coming as risky because the ratio has gone beyond 0.5. And again, if I run this program, if I give the income and I give the debt, then nothing happened. Why nothing happened?
Because we only
Because
use
we
it
didn't
if
give a
there is
Because it is
nothing
false.
false to display.
Because we have not given
else
a
at
false
part.
value.
Else
Else
false
we
part.
haven't given.
Exactly.
We
False
haven't
part
set
we
up
have
the all
not.
false part.
Exactly. False part is missing. Hence, it is not going to work. Now, if I wanted the false part to be there, what should I have used? I should have used an if else. And in if else, all I have to do is after returning the lines, if true, I should have put an else. And then in the message box, whatever I want to put, like let's say non-risky. That's it. Okay, so over here, what is going to happen? It will evaluate this logical test. If this happens to be true, it will return you risky and then go to end if. If it happens to be false, it will go directly to else part. Whatever is the lines it has to execute, it will do that and then go to the end if part. So if I run it again and give my income and give a debt, it's saying non-risky.
Shani, I
Shani?
want to ask one thing.
Yes.
As you are running multiple things in the on the same sheet,
Mm-hmm.
right?
How does it know which one to run?
Right. I have a confusion. So
Right. So it depends on where your cursor is. If you're outside somewhere, and then if you would have pressed F5, again it's running the previous one. And somewhere where it cannot understand, it will open the entire window of all the programs for you, and then you have to select and run it. But the easiest or the safest thing to understand is whichever program you want to run, you keep the cursor there. Then automatically it knows which program to run.
okay.
Okay.
Shani,
Shani, what's your question? Yes.
We can use any logical operator, right? Greater than, equal, less than, not equal.
Yeah, then exactly. All the logical operators that we have learned in Excel, exactly the same logical operators are there in VBA. There's no difference. Mathematical operators, logical operators, exactly like Excel.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. One more question was there.
yeah, Ishani, just tell how will you save these programs?
How will you save the programs?
Yeah.
We did this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, tell me again. Because
Just save the
because I missed,
workbooks as a macro-enabled workbook .xlsm.
yeah.
Save the workbook and the extension should be .xlsm.
Okay. We need to make a different, we need to make a copy of it.
You know, no, when you do a save, let's say it's a new workbook,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you click on save, when you're doing a save on a new workbook, very similar window to this save as comes up,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right? So over here where you have the extension, select the second extension, which is macro enabled workbook. Normally it is Excel workbook, but you choose macro enabled, and that's it.
Okay. So every time we need to do that?
No. Once you've saved the file, then you're just saving like a normal Excel file. Like the
Okay.
first time in Excel also you save it, and then you keep saving on top of it. You don't do anything else, right? You just keep pressing Control S. Same thing over here.
Okay. Then this thing will not go away, right?
No, it will not go away.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's do this small program. Write a program to check if the number is even or odd. How do you check whether a number is even or odd?
If it is divisible by 2.
But everything is divisible by 2. I can divide 13 also
And
by
one
2.
more is 0.
And the remainder is 0, right?
0.
When you divide something by 2 and the remainder happens to be the 0, then we say that it's an even number. Do you know which function we use in Excel to check for the remainder?
Mode.
Mod function, correct. It's a mod function. Now, what this function does for us is, for example, if I have, let's say 20 as a number and I want to divide by 2 and look for the remainder, I can simply use this function called mod. I can refer to the number, comma, the divisor, and what it returns to me is the remainder. If I would have put 3, it has given me the remainder as 2. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now in VBA, how does it work? It is not the same format in VBA. In VBA, it is going to take the format of 20 mod 3. So instead of the function coming outside, it actually comes in between the number and the divisor. Right? So use this knowledge that this is how it is used in VBA and try to do this program.
Make a program.
You have to write a program, yes.
Okay.
And again, like yesterday, how you were sending me in the message box, please send it. Chat window, message box, chat window.
Ishani,
Oh.
can you please again let me know 20 by mod 3? I mean 20 mod 3 का function क्या था?
To get the remainder.
To get the remainder, okay.
Yeah.
It's 20 mod 3 or 20 mod 2?
No, I just gave an example how to use
Example.
mod.
Okay.
Now, what you have to use in your program, that's entirely up to you.
Okay. So we have to put that it is even or odd.
Correct.
Okay.
Is that done?
Shweta, your voice is not clear today. And later, however, I know the code for this program. All right, Pratibha. And try to send us a direct message if you guys don't mind.
We will start this program with sub as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So I have typed Ishani.
Yes.
Yeah. Now it's clear, my voice.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah,
clear.
I should not take Y. Yes, I remember that. When I read it, I have corrected in the original.
Okay.
In my mind, it was like anything we should divide. Then again, I remember it's only 2.
Yeah. Gunjan, do you use VBA?
Yes, I do.
So probably, you know, in the second, in the later half, when we are done with the programming part, I might ask for your assistance in helping me come up with questions for automation in Excel portion. Like if you have a data, what are the tasks that you are doing? Okay, so whenever you get a chance, try to create some daily usage of VBA in your work so that I can get it done in the sessions also.
Sure, Ishani.
Yeah.
Yani I'm not getting what it should be.
Why don't you put the code over here and let me check? Okay, Raj, what you need to do, it's correct. However, you declared a variable called number. You took an input of a number, but then you used 20 mod 2. So all the time when you run your program, the answer will always be even because you are only evaluating against 20. The number that you're entering doesn't come into the picture in calculation at all. All right,
Sorry.
Raj?
Okay. Okay, Shani.
Yes.
Shani, can I share my screen?
Sure. Let me stop sharing. 1 second.
Shani,
Yes.
I'm getting error.
I'm
Yes,
getting
good. Whoever is getting error, if you can copy paste your code over here, good. Otherwise, so number mod 2 needs spaces. Number space mod 2. Otherwise, it's coming as one text. Yes. Then space. No. Then if then Anna.
Okay. Else. So we have to write here only else or down, enter down.
First write then. Press enter. Now, if
Okay.
it's true, then what? Not else.
If true, oh sorry.
Then what?
If true, then
Huh?
input message box.
Correct.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, and then else
Okay.
part would come.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Imran, you want to share?
No, I got some clarity. I'm good.
Abhishek, Rathi, what's the status? Sunil, Ankita, Arshad, Deepika. Oh, Deepika or Ankita, who said the electricity problem? No, that's Pratibha. Pratibha said, okay. Deepika
I have
said.
shared.
So, I know you have done it in a different fashion, Deepika, but we wanted to check even and odd. For even and odd, you can't leave it up to the user to give you the divisor. Right? So
Yes.
ideally, it should have been just take the number from the user and S mod 2 and then message box even or odd.
All right, I got it.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
Ishani,
Mhm.
I copy and paste. It is
Okay.
not giving
Yes,
odd
yes.
number message.
Yeah, because A mod
Oh,
2.
sorry.
You
I have declared
is
B and
sticking.
B is not there. Just a moment.
Space has to be there.
Yes.
Sunil, you declared X but used the word the variable number. So in your declaration, just change X to number.
So
If this
Ishani,
Ishani,
sorry to interrupt you. Ishani, actually, I did use any number in the code itself. Rather, I selected an active cell.
I've not taught you that, so I'm not expecting that. See, first, it
Shani, can you
depends on
please share
what
the
your
screen?
yeah, 1 second. Faisal, depending on what's your background, you might be ready to work on Excel as it is, but some people are not. So that's the reason, in the beginning, I don't mix the two concepts. So in the beginning, we'll just do pure programming as if Excel does not exist. And once these things are over, like nested if and loops are over, then we'll start working on Excel.
No, actually, my current knowledge is pretty redundant, and I need your help in inserting that logic in the code itself.
Okay, but don't use active cell as of now. Okay, try to work with the variables right now.
Okay.
So that everybody is on the same pace.
Okay.
Okay, because if I start mixing Excel now, everybody will get so confused. Then it will be difficult for me to keep you guys motivated.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Lalit, correct. Sunil, again, I hope you understood what is to be done. Sanjeet is done. Number, Kshitij, correct. Vivek, don't declare so many things. Like I said, if it's not required, let's not declare and create so many variables. Not a good habit. You guys will see because you are going to create codes and automate your Excel at the end of this program. So if you don't get rid of these habits early on, you will have problem. And secondly, don't leave it to the user to give you the divisor. Divisor is going to be 2 only for even or odd. So let's not take it from the user, because what if he puts 3? Then you're not evaluating even odd at all. Sanjeet, yours is correct.
Okay, Ishani.
Manoj, yours is correct. Arshad, yours is correct. Abhishek, correct. Again, Imran, you have taken the variables called even and odd, but then you use the variable called number in divisor and further use the variable called x. So 3 different variables you are using. Okay, so what you need to do is you will write dim x as long and that's it. Where you have written the word number, put x and that's it. Okay, so remove this divisor in input box and change your declaration of even and odd.
Okay.
Okay.
Shania, I am facing one problem. While running, it's not coming up.
Naveen, you
Yeah,
need to give space between a mod and 2. It's a space mod space 2.
Oh, that's why I'm not getting odd message.
Yes. And Kameshwara, again the same thing. Let's not take input from the user for the divisor. Even odd is always, divisor is 2 only. Let's keep that stagnant. For Abhishek, message box is not correct.
And sub both.
And sub is going to be a part of it, right? Neil, good. I think you guys like programming more than you liked Excel.
Shania, I am running this program on the same page. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes. Okay, hold on 1 second. Tanu, correct. Yes. What's your question?
Shania, I'm running the program on the same page. On this code page, it's running, but while going out, it's not running.
So when you go out, it would give you a window, right? What is it giving you?
No, can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. So while doing from here, function F5,
F8.
I'm not getting anything.
Alt
It's
F8.
showing blank.
No,
Alt
not F5.
F8.
F8. It's Alt F8.
Okay. Okay. Alt F8. Just a minute.
I think you have to press your function key also.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. Now you can run.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right.
Shani, I
Yeah,
have
Faisal.
successfully used the insert box.
Input box.
Input box.
All right,
I
great.
really get confused. I really confused when I declare a
Variable.
dim. Yeah, the variable.
Okay.
Especially
See,
with if function.
Right. See, long run, if I have to be honest with you guys, long run, your input box and messages box is going to fade away. Though I'm telling you to use it right now, ultimately they don't exist in so much heavy, like not so much frequency, because the input is coming from Excel, your output is also going back in Excel. So there is, unless you want to pop up a message or you want to pick up a range, your input and message box do not exist in real life. It's like very less, 1 or 2 of them, not more than that. Okay, Vikar, I'm sure your program is not running. The reason being x mod 2, you have to give spaces. There are 3 different things, x space mod space 2, and
Okay.
then it will run. Okay. Other than that, it's fine. Acha, now I have to tell you one thing, because all of you are making big mistakes in doing the same thing. I want all of you to go to your code sheets and go to the very top. Now I have to implement, because all of you are making this mistake. The very first line, write this word option explicit. Everyone on the top of your code sheet, everyone will go and write option explicit. This will help you to reduce your errors that you are very, innocently making. You know what this does?
So where we have to write option explicit?
On the very top, go to the very top of your screen. The first line of your code sheet should be option explicit.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you know what this does?
No, Ishani.
I think separate the programs.
No,
Kind of.
it forces you to declare the variables properly, which all of you are making mistake. So I'll give you an example of how you are doing right now. So for example, you guys wrote this even and odd. You are declaring num as, let's say, integer or a long. Then you say x is equal to input box. You know what I did right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have declared
You
num.
declared something, you're
but putting
using
X.
something else. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're putting if, then you're using something else again. This is what a lot of you have done. Now you will see what is the usage of this option explicit. Now, when you were making these things, did it pop up any errors to you guys? No.
Yes.
No errors would come. Errors won't come.
Now
it will allow you to do it, but if you have not declared it, if you're not taken input in it, by default, it is going to take as a 0 and it will keep on giving you even number when you run it. Okay. But now when I run it, it is going to keep on prompting me variable not defined. So if I'm not defined anything, I can't use it anymore.
Okay.
So that is the reason I've asked you to guys to put the option explicit, because if you, that's the only way I can reinforce that you guys are using the same variable name throughout. Otherwise, since in VBA, it's not mandatory to declare, you are using 3-4 different variables and it's allowing you, and you are not even coming to understand that it's wrong.
Sorry, Ishani,
Please
could you
show it up. Yeah.
of this explicit?
So what we did on the very top on the code sheet, and why we put it on the very top, so that all the codes are going to get affected by this line. It's called option explicit. And what it enforces in VBA to make sure that you declare the variables before you can use it. If you don't declare it, you should not be able to use it. All right. They'll give you a message box saying that please tell the coding for date and time. Like if you type something in the cell, then the date and time will automatically populate. Let me make a list of this. This will, Shubham, these kind of things will come when we start interacting with Excel. So let me make this note that you enter a data and the current date and time comes up. Correct, Shubham?
Yes.
So this could be one thing that we are going to learn in when we work with Excel. All right, let's move on. Now let's
one small doubt.
Yes, Neil.
So Ishani, suppose here instead of taking the mod function, if I taken like suppose if I taken another variable, suppose as a result, okay, result is equal to number divided by 2. If I taken that, okay, I use that method, but when I use the if function, so it is going to else mode. It is not picking the true part.
But when you're doing number divided by 2, you are not getting the remainder, right? For example, in Excel also, if I do 20 divided by 3, I'm not getting the remainder.
It's a result we're getting. Okay.
Right. And what we're looking is for the remainders. That's why it's going to give you a different output. And that's why, since it's never 0, you will never get a question as 0, right?
Correct. So
that's why it's always going to odd.
Okay. So I'll change it. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
Ishani, can I?
Option explicit will be in use if we are using different variable in the same program, right?
No. It's just, see, any other programming language that you, if you know of, what happens if you don't declare? If you don't declare means if you don't have this line. If you don't declare a variable, typically programming language do not allow you to use a variable. Okay. But in VBA, that's an exception. Because you remember we said that there is a default data type. Why do you need a default data type? It is required because in VBA, even if you don't declare a variable, I can use it.
So if you do not use write this line dim num as integer,
now it won't allow you. Yeah. Now if I run the program, now it won't allow me to use it. Because now what has happened, I've written this line of option explicit on the top. Okay. When that line was not there, just to give you a understanding of why I made you do that, because a lot of you were making mistakes. So if I don't have this line at all, I made this also as a comment, so it's not an active line. And let's go back to the same program. Again, the dim is commented, so dim is not there. I have not declared num. If I run it, it's running. All right, Abhishek.
True, Ishani. Even I was getting the same.
Right.
But it will take long value, right? Means it will take more space.
It will take more space. It's a variant.
Right. Okay.
But the challenge is, trust me, the toughest thing to do is decode your own programs or debug your own programs. And the silliest of the things, that is spelling mistake, are the ones that are most difficult to catch with eyes. Because you're focusing so much on the logic and the flow in your program that the spelling mistakes you will hardly focus on. So just let's make sure that, we are not making these kind of mistakes. That's the reason I enforced this option explicit on all of you.
Shani, I have one question regarding
Yes,
this.
Tarun.
When I'm running the program, when I'm entering a 2 or 3 digit number, it is showing me as odd and even. But when I'm entering a long digit, suppose a 5 digit number or 6 digit number, it is showing me a error.
Overflow error.
Yeah.
Overflow error.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it depends on your data type. Remember, Tarun? Integers can hold up to what?
I have entered here as long. I have taken them number as long.
You have taken as long.
Yeah.
Then why would it give you overflow error? Can you share your screen once and run it?
I can't, Shani.
Okay, can you copy? Actually, you can't copy paste your formula. So, for example, this is long, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the program is exactly this. Other things are exactly the same.
Same. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the enter? Tell me the number which gave you an error.
Random number. I'm entering the random number, a 5 digit random number.
Okay, something like this.
Yeah.
It's working.
Just a minute, let me check again. So, okay, now it's working for me also.
Shani, I don't know why I'm still facing the issue. I cannot run it.
You are not able to. Yes, you can. 1 second. You are not able to run it.
Yeah, I just don't know why I'm getting this error.
Okay.
Not so good with VBA.
That's okay. We can't be good at everything. Excel long. This is this, right? So, this has, okay, this is fine. Oh, how are you running it?
F8.
F5.
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 Yes.
Oh, okay. I was using the incorrect command.
Right. F5.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's finish off with the nested ifs also. So how do you write a nested if or an else-if? So when we have multiple conditions, we use if-ELSEIF. Right? So how is it written? We start with the keyword if, followed by the logical test 1. So 1 second. Then, because there are going to be multiple conditions, so that's why I've written logical test 1. Lines to execute if logical test 1 is true. And next would be, instead of else, it becomes else if again. And this will be logical test 2. Then whatever other lines to execute if logical test 2 is true. And we can go on and on and on. So I'm going to copy and make at least 2 more lines of code. And in this one, at the end, you may not have an else if, you may have only a else part. However, this part is completely optional. So for example, if debt to income ratio is greater than 5, I want to call it risky. If the debt to income ratio is less than 20, I want it to call it non-risky. And in between, I don't want to do anything. So in that case, where should it go? It should go to else part. But if it's a clear-cut thing that if it's greater than 50.5, then it's risky. Otherwise, it is non-risky. Then I don't need the else part. You understand? Not all the time I will require an else part. Sometimes on the top, whatever the conditions are, those are the only possible outputs I want to give. So else would exist. And if we have given something like If condition 1 is met, do this. If condition 2 is met, do this. Otherwise, do this. So when we have the otherwise do this, then we have to have the else part into it. So this is your logical test 3, and this will lines to execute if none of the conditions is true. Do you think this has to be in a certain sequence, the logical test, or it could be in any sequence? Logic test 1, test 2, test 3, do they have to be in a proper sequence or any sequence?
It should be in sequence.
Any sequence as long as the last else is at the end.
Okay. All of you agree with Faisal? In Excel, how could you do it? When you wrote nested
by
if,
one.
did the sequence mattered?
Yes.
It's
Nested
a
if
pattern.
Excel. It
It
did
does
matter,
matter.
right?
Yes.
One by
It did.
one.
Yeah. So it
Because
has
it
to be
first checked the first
absolutely
condition and then you, yeah.
exactly, because it's going to check the first condition. Let's say this condition is true. Where does it go? It goes to lines to execute. And there, when it goes to directly to a end if, it is not going to check your logical test 2 and test 3. Right? So let's say test 1 is false, then it goes to the next logical test. If this is also false, then it will go to logical test 3. If this is also false, then it goes to else. If any of the logical test is true, it goes to these lines where it is true and directly go to end if. All right.
Yes.
Again, I'm going to
And one
take,
more thing I want to ask in this.
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. So, Ishani, in this we have multiple logical tests is there, multiple like test 1, test 2, test 3. So we have to do end if one time or more than one time,
One
like
time.
in
One
Excel.
end time. Because one if is there, each if is followed by one end if.
Okay.
Okay. If is either followed by else or it is followed by end if. So if you think about it, this if has this else, this if has this else, so only one end if will be left at the end.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say if the ratio is greater than 5, it is risky. Between 0.3 to 0.5, it's moderate. And if it's less than 0.3, then it is non-risky. Okay. So how will we change this program? This is already there. What should I do?
Else
Else if.
I have to put the same logical test.
Yes.
I'll copy it, paste it over here, and this has to be. What should I write?
Then 0.3.
Greater than 0.3.
Yes.
Then it is.
It should be less than Ishani.
Yeah. Is this correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Do I need to put greater than or less than 0.5 and greater than 0.3?
No, it is not correct.
Yes.
Overlap.
Satisfying the
I
condition.
think,
Because
yeah,
greater than
Ishani, I think second condition would have been if it is less than 0.3, then it will be not risky. Else, it would be moderate.
Can't we give
Will
the
this
range
not be
also
true?
here?
Can we give the range? See, and is required. Why and is required? Remember, it works in a sequential manner.
Yes.
Right? So when will it go to this part? It will only go to this part if this top one is false.
Yes. You can.
It means what? If top one is false, what does it mean? It means it's less than 0.5, isn't it?
Correct.
So if you put an and, you're making a redundant condition then. Like you've already checked it and you're checking it again. Yes or no?
Yes.
See, you have to think from the logical test. There is a true and a false part. If something is not true, what is the false part of it? If I'm saying something is not greater than 0.5, what does it imply? It is less than 0.5.
It is less than 0.5.
So when it reaches the second part, it has already done that check that it's less than 0.5. All I need to ask is, are you greater than 0.3? If yes, then moderate. Otherwise, the else part of this is also what? Less than 0.3. So it will go to non-risky. That's why I was saying the sequencing matters. If the sequence, if I would have put this on the top, then everything would have been moderate. Whether it's 0.5 or it's 0.3, whether it's 0.4, everything would come as moderate, right? So your sequence does matter a lot. So when I run this thing, and this is risky, it's greater than 0.5. And you can also put your, you can combine to say your debt to income ratio is, right, ampersand, and show it and then say risky. Okay, and let's say
more than 0.5.
Is more than 0.5. Yeah, but I'm just doing a calculation, debt divided by income and ampersand. I want to put status risky. How do I do that? Don't get confused, okay? So if I'm running this thing, I'm just going to do it once. Debt. Oh, spelling. Even I got saved. Spelling mistake. 45,000. Let's say 40,000. So it's showing the debt to income ratio is, and we can obviously modify this in status risky. Now, if I want to put status risky in the next line, what do I do?
New line, Excel new line.
How do I put new line over here?
Message box.
Underscore.
After, yes.
vbCrLf. You put something like vbCrLf. What does vbCrLf do for us? It is like an enter sign of your Excel. So now if I run this thing, and if I put the income, and I'm putting only for greater than 0.5, so it shows debt to income ratio is 0.89, status risky. Is it clear what I've done here?
Yes.
No, Ishani.
So,
What
okay. So what is this
VBC,
VB? Yeah. What is this vbCrLf doing? It is actually working like an enter symbol. Takes to next line. Otherwise, what is happening? Everything was sticking and becoming one big line. If I don't have this thing, how does it show up? One long line, right? Now, what I wanted to do, I want to push status to the next line. So how do I make it go to the next line? By adding ampersand vbCrLf. If you guys have used typewriters, which I doubt, CRLF is a short form of carriage line feed, which means next line, which means enter in today's date. Okay, so that's what CRLF is doing for us. Or
And
you
what
could have
does
also written VB new line. That also works if this is easier to process. Yes.
So this vbCrLf function has an enter in VBA.
Yes,
right?
correct.
So if there is a prompt that I need, I know it's too much. It's too early rather. If there is a prompt that shows up in an Excel, say save or do not save. If I use this function to enter the OK button, will this be used as an enter, or it's just a text thing?
You're talking about a message box.
No, I'm talking about if I want to save a file and write a code that whenever the prompt of save yes or no comes, it always hit yes, and by using the enter. So will this vbCrLf?
No.
So
That is
Ishani,
not
we
what
can,
this does.
Ishani, we can use also Excel new line.
Sorry.
Why we using for?
You are saying new line.
Yes.
Same thing.
Same thing. No?
Yeah, same thing. This is same as vbCrLf. Same thing. Does the same work, whichever you want to use.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. I don't know if I can copy paste, but these codes I share in LMS. I don't know if you guys are looking at it or not. But at the end of every class, I put this file back in LMS, and I have dated that class file this date, class file this date, so that you can see all the codes together. Okay, let's quickly do one small code from your side also. What code should I give you? What did I give you? I gave you the expense one, right? Let's try to use those programs that you've already written. I have more codes that I can give. The problem is that I'm forcing you to learn few things in Excel. Okay, I'll explain that code to you. So I'm going to ask you to work on this code. Enter a mobile number and give the name of the service provider based on the first 3 digits of a mobile number. Okay, so depending on what are the first 3 digits, we will return Airtel or BSNL or MTS or Vodafone or others. Now, whenever you start working with the program, what is the very first step you should do?
Declaring a variable.
Even before that.
I think we should think how many variables required first of all.
Option explicit.
Even before that. Write an algorithm. You know what else is an algorithm?
Step-by-step procedure.
Yes, written in English, pure English. No mixing of the syntax, no mixing of technical terms should be there. Step by step in English, what will you do? So if I show you this exact question again, enter a mobile number and give the name of the service provider based on the first 3 digits of the mobile number. What should be the step number 1? Forget VBA, forget Excel. Pure simple English. How will you work with this question?
Name of the company and number.
First we will get the phone number. Correct?
Not more than 10 digits.
Okay, then you're
And
saying
only
check
3
for
left.
the length.
Right.
Length.
Right? And it should be 10 digit. Correct?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
next.
First 3 digit. Check
Then
first
you
3
want
digit.
to extract first 3 digits.
Right.
Yes.
Right? And then what will you do? Check against
Check condition. If
against all service provider. Right?
right.
And then display the name. This is an algorithm. Now, how do you use it? Once you've written the algorithms, means the toughest part of writing a code is to come up with the logical step. That is the toughest thing in writing codes. If you're good with your logics, writing is very simple. If you don't remember a syntax, you can Google it, you can open a book and find it out. But logic is something nobody can teach you, nobody can give to you on Google also. So once you've done with this, then start thinking, okay, if I have to do step number 1, if I'm using VBA, what is the syntax for it? So if I want to get the phone number from the user, what do I use in VBA?
Input box.
Input box,
Message
very
box.
good. Input box, not
Input
message
box.
box, input box.
Right.
If
My
I have
input
to
box.
check, yeah. And now think little bit of mixing of Excel should come in, because at the end of the day, we're working in the back end of Excel. So a lot of functions, no, I'm not saying all, but a lot of functions of Excel can be used in VBA. You are saying if I have to check the length, is 10 digit or not, how do I achieve that?
If
By using length.
only
Length
if.
function. Length function.
Length function, correct. I'll use if and length function. How do I extract the first 3 digits?
Left.
Left
Left or right.
Correct.
Left or test to column.
Left function. How are you going to check against all service providers? So multiple conditions are there. So we
Greater
use
than 10.
If else.
if else, right?
If else.
And to display message
Message
box.
box.
If you do these steps, then you will see your writing of codes will take hardly any time. But if you're not done this thing, if you're just going to write a sub and wait, then it takes more time of thinking. So always have a habit of writing an algorithm before you start on your program. Okay. Can you write this program? Can I take 15 minutes extra today? My 15 minutes is pending.
Yes, Ishani.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, 15 minutes just to do this program. As soon as we are done with this program, we'll log off. Vinay, is that fine with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you. So let's write this program. And for the people who do not know what len and left is there anyone who does not know what len and left does?
Me, Ishani. I'm not aware.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
len does this thing. So if I have a text or if I have a number, right? What len function does is give me the length of the number of characters. So all it requires is a text. And this is also a function of VBA, which is used in the same fashion. Okay, so len gives you the total number of characters. Now, what does left function do? For example, from the left, I want the first 2 digits or the first 2 characters. So we write left. It requires the text, which is this. And then you have to specify how many characters you want to extract. So if I want to extract 2, I'll put 2 and press enter.
Okay, Shani. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. One thing, do me a favor, declare your phone number, the variable you're going to use, as a string. It won't work with anything else. So use a string. And I'll put these guys over here.
How do I write len function in VBA code?
Simple, len len, and then instead of a text cell reference, you will give the variable.
Okay. What is the shortcut for seeing the existing variable? Control and something?
Existing variable as in, control space to get the name.
Okay.
Control space. All of you belong to a finance domain?
At least I do.
What about rest? Because when I'm going to create some examples or questions, I need to make sure I'm asking for your domain only. So all of you are from finance? No.
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 I'm from
Banking,
payroll.
payroll, but all related to money matters, right?
Yeah, I'm
Right.
banking.
Banking again, money matters. All money, right? Nothing marketing, no admin, nothing like that.
Yeah.
All right. So everything has to be around money. Okay.
How to write len function in VBA?
Same thing, like how we write in Excel, len len, and in the expression, put the name of the variable.
Okay.
Arshad, Sandeep, you have been little quiet. Dhirendra, you don't talk to me at all. Girish, Govind, I don't get programs from you guys. Merin, again, you become super quiet in VBA. You were very active in Excel.
Yeah, actually, Shani, I missed yesterday's class and I'm
Little off today.
struggling a bit. So I'll go through the other recording once, and then I think I'll be.
Yes. So if once you've gone through the recording, if you have any questions, do let me know. Okay, we can take it after the session ends.
Yep, sure.
Okay.
Shani, how to use that if and len together?
If and len
Don't-
together. So for example, you are checking if the len of your phone number is equal to or not equal to 0, whatever you used, right? The logical test is being created by len.
Okay.
So in this we have to use AND function also.
Why and?
Because first we have to check if digit 10 digit, then do this.
Okay.
Then again logical, then we have to extract 3-digit number.
No, but why don't you do this thing that only extraction should take place if it is a 10-digit number? If it's not a 10-digit number, give a message box saying invalid. So people do enter invalid numbers, right?
No, if length, if we are declaring phone number, 10 digit, if length of phone number, whatever we are declaring in the message box, is equal to 10, then it's a phone number. Else, incorrect number. That's
So
what we
start, yeah, but start with this one, guys. Invalid number. Start with an invalid number. Say if the phone number is not equal to 10, then it's an invalid number. Right? And then what will be the next thing? Next, you can write your else if. Now, if it is, remember I told you the sequence does matter. If it comes to the next line, means it's a valid number. So over here, just extract the first 3 and check. Yes? Make sense?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So instead of checking equal to 10, check for not equal to 10.
Okay. No extract number.
Shani, I'm done. It's working.
Okay, great. Would you be able to send it across?
I'm just copying it.
Okay. So Pratibha, the logical fault in the program is that whether the number is valid or invalid, it will still go ahead and process X. Right? Because you have created 2 different if functions. So whether it's valid or invalid, it will still go ahead and process the service provider, which should not be the case. And Naveen, you've checked for greater than 10. What about less than 10? If it's less than 10, it should work.
Yeah, that I did not check. Yes.
And another thing, same as Pratibha, if you're using two different if functions,
Hmm.
then whether it's a valid number or invalid number, it will always go to the second if.
Okay. So I need to put another else and.
So do it like this, like you see on my screen.
Uh-huh.
On the top, check for not equal to 10. So not equal to takes care of less than and greater than.
I was not aware of this function. Yeah, sorry.
With the operator.
With
It's an Excel
operator, yeah.
operator. Less than and greater than, not equal to. And then
Okay,
use
this is
else if.
how it
So in
is.
your else if part, just check for the 3-digit number.
Ishani,
Okay.
can you please tell me what 3-digit number like 987? It's for Airtel, and what we have to use for
It's
Airtel,
given over.
Vodafone?
I've put over here. I've put over here.
Okay. Where?
In the quotes.
Okay,
And
sorry.
I can copy and put in the chat also.
Sorry, I am not.
That's okay.
Usually I'm done.
Neil.
Yeah.
Neil, same thing. Whether it's valid or invalid, your code will check whether it's Airtel or BSNL or MTS or not.
It is there. It is there. I written.
Hmm?
It is there.
No. What I'm saying is, if I don't think so. I can copy what you've written, or can I copy? Let's see.
Here first first if function in first if condition I'm checking its length is 10 not there.
No, I
If
can't.
it is not there, then it's
No.
Yeah.
So do one thing. Enter, run your program.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what to do. And run a program and give an invalid number. Let's say 9905.
905. Okay.
What is the output you're getting? Invalid.
Invalid number.
And then
Invalid.
Airtel.
No, it's okay. It is giving the type mismatch, runtime error.
It is giving you type mismatch. Why it is giving you type mismatch? Because it did not evaluate y. Y is a string, and string you are comparing to a number 990. So it did start to work on your if function again.
Correct. Yes.
Right. So that's why I'm saying instead of making two if, make one single if, so that this kind of problem is not there.
Okay. Okay, Shani. I'll do.
Vivek, correct. No, Shweta. See, again, same with you also. Whether it's valid or invalid, it will operate on the second if, because there are two different ifs. They're not connected to each other. So in your else part, instead of else, make it else if and use the rest of the code.
Understood.
Okay. Otherwise, it will work on it whether you like it or not. So let me do this program because we are already out of time, and I know that you guys have other things. So service provider.
It is working better with one if only.
One if, yes.
Yeah.
So we are going to put over here dim ph as a string. Tomorrow I'll tell you why I picked it up as a string. Ph is equal to input box, and I press the wrong key all the time. Input box, enter the phone number, enter the 10-digit number. And once we do that, we will put an if function. That if len is not equal to 10, then it's invalid. Else, now we can evaluate. Else if left of ph, comma 3 is equal to 990. If it is, what did I miss? Why is it red? Oh, then. Yeah. Message box, Airtel. And the rest, I'm going to be little lazy. Copy paste. 2, 3, 4. Then it is 901.
Done. Yes. We were using two ifs, yes.
Using one single if you can do it, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
It just makes, otherwise it is going to, whether you want it or not, it is still processing the next one. So we want to avoid that. Else, others.
It becomes so easy when you write it.
Hmm?
It becomes so easy when you write it. But
Yes,
when it
sir.
comes,
It's always the case when somebody else does the work, it's always nice and easy. When macro is recording, the code looks also fabulous, right?
So here I have declared actually 2 extra variable and then assign the value to them.
Yes.
But you have
So we can
directly
reduce it. Yes.
assign the value. Yeah. Okay.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I did the
Okay.
same way. Thanks.
Yeah, great. So tomorrow when we meet, we will work with one more structure called select case, which is again used for multiple condition checking, and we will start with our loops also. Loops are going to be little tough, but I think you guys are doing very good in terms of asking me the questions and doing your work, so you will be fine. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for giving me extra time today. And whatever questions you have, you can ask me tomorrow. Today, I'll put up a small assignment related to if. So whoever is interested can do that.
Okay, Shani, thank
Sure,
you.
Ishani.
All right.
Super, thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Shani.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Shani. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. Bye bye.